Most excited about beyond Donald Trump taking the oath of office on the 20th of January? For me, I do think it's Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. I mean, there are a lot of great picks coming in. A lot of them made today. We'll get to some of that coming up. But I'm excited about this whole Doge thing. They're scheduled to meet, by the way, with Republican lawmakers, those two, coming up tomorrow to discuss ways to cut the fat from the federal government as co-leads of the Department of Government Efficiency under the incoming Trump administration. We call it Doge. The National Taxpayers Union recently came out with their annual no-brainers list of 2024's top 10 bipartisan bills for taxpayers, which would help bring efficiency and transparency to the federal government. For example, two of the bills on the list would crack down on improper payments by implementing technology upgrades and requiring stricter reporting requirements. A great start, no doubt. Here with me now to discuss more on the list is, well, the Executive Vice President of the National Taxpayers Union, Brandon Arnold. Brandon, nice to see you, my friend.
Thanks for having me again.
I think a lot of people are excited. I mean, look, Elon is an innovator, a smart guy. Vivek, same thing. Here are guys that I think really can apply modern technology, AI, to start to ferret out where's the money going. Take and just like put a tracker on this dollar. Where does it go? As it goes through the system, it's ground up and figure out where these things go, right? And so you have this list of 10 things, bipartisan ideas. Give us a couple more, because we want to know, why are we spending so much money? Trillions of dollars coming in. Wouldn't it be nice if the taxpayers could keep some of that money for themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me focus on the one you mentioned just for a quick second, the improper payments, two bills to bring transparency there. And I think you're absolutely right. This should be the first starting point for Musk and Ramaswamy. By some reports, we spend $500 billion a year on improper payments. This is fraudulent payments. These are just mistakes that the IRS, the Treasury Department makes. So technology, AI, as you mentioned, could absolutely fix this problem, maybe not in its entirety, but make it far better, saving potentially hundreds of billions of dollars. That's huge. Now, there's another one that I think you'll like. It's called No Budget, No Recess. This basically makes Congress stay in town until they pass a budget. They're supposed to do that each and every spring. They rarely get a budget done. Force them to stay in D.C. by preventing them from collecting any reimbursement for travel expenses until they get a budget done.
You mean like my dad would do when I was a kid? No. You don't get to go. That's not done yet. You mow the whole lawn. You split all that wood. I mean, that's how our parents treated us. You don't get to go play until the work's done. And you make a great point. Brandon, these guys go off, these men and women. We're going back to district. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. It's our break for this, our break for that. No break until you get the work done. Man, that's a brilliant idea. It really is.
Yeah, it's weird because this idea actually came out of Congress. This is a bill that's around. It's a bipartisan piece of legislation. So there are members of Congress that recognize how broken the process is on Capitol Hill and want to fix it. They're on the minority, unfortunately. But this is, again, why we're so excited about people like Musk and Ramaswamy that had this enormous platform that they can bring issues like this to the forefront of the public discourse so people know about this and they start calling their member of Congress saying, why aren't you a co-sponsor of this bill? Why don't you encourage the speaker to put it on the floor of the House so we can vote on this and pass this into law? That's the kind of platform that we need to take good ideas and actually implement them into legislation and get them signed into law.
You know, I heard this other shocking idea that apparently Donald Trump put forth here to Republican senators on Monday of this week. He said, guys, you're going to have to work 5 days a week. And I think half of them probably fainted in the room. Yeah, would they have to work all week? You mean like the rest of us? Yeah. How about you stay there at work Monday through Friday? Work until close of business on Friday even. You don't get to jump the early flight to go home and have cocktails in your district with some fancy contributor. No. Stay in Washington. Do your job. Look, America works its tail off. We pay more taxes than any country in the world, and we ship more money and God only knows where we ship most of this money, Brandon. I mean, you look at the ways we squander money. I mean, the Defense Department, the Pentagon just did another audit. How many hundreds of billions of dollars can they not account for? It's really kind of embarrassing, isn't it?
It is. What's encouraging, though, is to see even folks on the left like Bernie Sanders come out and say, yeah, we're for Doge, probably to a limited extent, but we're for Doge because they are actually going to look at the Pentagon's budget. It is unacceptable that the Pentagon cannot pass an audit, one of the largest departments in the
Ever.
federal government cannot pass an audit, and we don't hold them accountable.
Yeah.
We need to start holding their feet to the fire. Waste in the Pentagon is just as bad as waste in the Department of Labor or anywhere else in government, and we shouldn't tolerate it.
And I would say this, Bernie Sanders, look, Bernie would be for this a lot more if you said, look, if we can find the money we're losing at the Pentagon or wherever else, and we can take care of a couple of your pet projects, Bernie, and it's still within the budget because now we found the money, he'd be all for it. Brandon Arnold, thank you for being here as always, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Greatly appreciate it.